In this video, I'm going to show you how I made an air cleaner for my wood shop for under $100 bucks. This air filter works great in the wood shop. No need to spend $300, $400, $500 on an air cleaner when you can build one like this. Regular furnace filters and a big blower. Let me show you how I did it. I started off with a piece of 3/4 inch 7-ply pine. This is a high grade Araco brand. Then I added a blower. This is an 8-inch blower. And then I use a 20 by 25 furnace filter. So this is an 8-inch blower. It moves 800 CFM. I picked it up on eBay for about 60 bucks shipped. This is a regular air filter. I experimented with some 3M ones later on, but this is the first one I bought. It worked fine. I started off by designing a SketchUp of the air cleaner in Google SketchUp, just to get an idea of what I was going to build. Nothing crazy. So the dimensions I made it was 26.5 wide, 21.5 tall, 14 deep. That accommodates the 20 by 25 air filters. I started by cutting the plywood sheets down to smaller, manageable sizes, progressively making my cuts to my final dimensions. And with the magic of video editing, I'm changing to dado blades already. I'm using a very common dado stack set. You can find these anywhere. Gotta set the height, 3/8 of an inch. Test cutting. Checking the depth. When I cut dado joints on the table saw, I end up standing more to the side of it to use it more like a table router. It's just what I've been doing for a long time now. So here I'm cutting down the baffle, as you would call it, as if it was a speaker cabinet, but it's not, so we'll call it the blower holder baffle, or board, blower holder board. Now I'm test fitting the pieces, make sure it all fits together right. Good way to test the gap here in your dado joints. So it's together. Sometimes you can wiggle it a little bit, but the easy way, set this and now you can see how much is in there. You want a little bit of a gap in there. I'd say at least a 1/16 of an inch. If you put it in there and there's glue that doesn't have anywhere to go, your panel will end up being bowed out. You kind of want some room in there. Alright, so now that my baffle, as we would call it in the speaker cabinet world, is fitted, I'm going to have to cut a hole in it to fit this in here. And in my original CAD design, or Google SketchUp, excuse me, I had it elevated in the center. But now that I look at it, I just realized I could just drill the hole off center and mount this right here, make it a lot easier and really make no difference either. You can see where it's at on the grain. I'm gonna take a good guess here. I'm gonna put a little mark. So it looks like this is about 7 3/4. All right, so it looks like I made that mark 11.5. I subtract 3 7/8 from 11.5. All right, so it's 7 5/8 is gonna be the center. But I don't trust this tape measure because you see that. So, I like to go down to the 1. There we go. That's the center. Now I'm going to mark the center this way. This is about 25 3/4, which is half of that's 12 7/8, I believe. Yeah, so we'll mark that. Alright, so I got to change the base plate from my router. Put this in the circle jig. I'm going to find 7 3/4. These routers tend to be really loud, so wear some earplugs if you do something like this. I really didn't know if it was going to fit good or not. Didn't make a test cut or anything.
I don't think I pulled out.
all I gotta do now is glue this sucker together. Glue here, here,
Can't really use too much glue in this type of thing. I'm not making a piece of furniture. Well, maybe it could be considered a piece of furniture to some people, but not to me. See, if you're making furniture, you don't want to use a lot of glue because then you gotta sand away all the excess. But speaker cabinets, this type of stuff, more glue the better.
down.
I could talk for a long time about clamps, but some people use brad nails until, you know, to kind of hold it together until the glue dries. I really don't like that. There's a couple of reasons. Main reasons is it doesn't really apply pressure both ways and make sure your joints are tight. There's speaker cabinets out there that have big gaps in the joints that have been brad nailed together. Oh yeah, quick tip, those red cabinet clamps you see there, they're not really worth buying. I think they have an updated version now. They might be better, but once they get some glue on the rod or whatever, they're crappy to use. This cabinet's all glued up. It's been an hour. It's plenty enough time at room temperature.
Alright, so I just put this together. You can see I just screwed it together. It's gonna go in here like this to hold the filter. There'll also be two other pieces on the end. Let's see if I can get it in. Something like that. So I'm gonna start screwing this frame in here. I'm gonna put it in 2 inches, even though I'm using 1-inch filters. I thought about using a pre-filter, like a fiberglass pre-filter or something. I'm not sure. Or I may want to get 2-inch filters. So I'll just do 2 inches for this. Alright, so I got it screwed in, but I did hit a little snag here. Not going to be able to screw these ones in because I don't have room for the drill to go in. These are permanently affixed now, so I'll just clamp and glue these here. Well, I'm going to have to use some other clamps because my regular C-clamps I use are not deep enough to get on there. So I just decided the easiest thing to do now is to just brad nail and glue these in here.
Alright, so that's about it for part 1 of this video. Check out part 2 where I finish up the air cleaner, hang it up on the ceiling, get it blowing.